The lives of ordinary individuals in medieval England are unveiled through the fascinating bone biographies, shedding light on the early welfare system. Hello, everyone. Today's video centres around the groundbreaking research conducted by the University of Cambridge. These innovative researchers have meticulously compiled a collection of bone biographies that provide intricate details about the lives of medieval residents in Cambridge, as evidenced by their skeletal remains. This remarkable endeavour was published alongside a comprehensive study exploring the issue of medieval poverty. By carefully examining the remains from a former hospital cemetery that catered to the impoverished and infirm, the team was able to gain valuable insights. Their analysis encompassed nearly 500 skeletal remains, spanning from the 11th to the 15th centuries, which were unearthed from burial sites throughout the city. The researchers honed in on 16 particularly enlightening specimens that represented a diverse range of social types. Now, without any further delay, let us delve into our engaging discussion. Through an extensive research endeavour, a collection of bone biographies has been crafted, offering a glimpse into the lives of individuals residing in medieval Cambridge. These biographies, based on the analysis of skeletal remains, shed light on the day-to-day experiences of people living in the aftermath of the Black Death. A new study that delves into the issue of medieval poverty by analysing the remains from a cemetery connected to a former hospital for the impoverished and sick has been published. This publication is accompanied by additional research on the subject. A comprehensive analysis was conducted by archaeologists from the University of Cambridge on nearly 500 skeletal remains that were unearthed from various burial sites scattered throughout the city. These remains, which date back to the period between the 11th and 15th centuries, were sourced from a diverse array of excavation projects spanning several decades, starting from the 1970s. Researchers employed cutting-edge methodologies to examine the diets, DNA, physical activities and bodily injuries of individuals from different walks of life, including townsfolk, scholars, friars and merchants. The study specifically honed in on 16 well-preserved remains that serve as prime examples of diverse social types. Cambridge University's After the Plague project has recently unveiled a new website where the complete osteobiographies can be accessed. Prof. John Robb, the lead researcher from Cambridge's Department of Archaeology, explained that an osteobiography is a method that utilises all accessible evidence to recreate the life of an individual from the past. The team employed techniques similar to those used in the study of Richard III's skeleton to uncover information about the lives of individuals who would otherwise remain unknown to us. Dr. Sarah Inskip, a researcher at After the Plague, now at the University of Leicester, emphasises the significance of utilising osteobiography on common individuals rather than elites who are extensively documented in historical sources. This is because the majority of the population is represented by ordinary folk, yet we have the least amount of knowledge about them. To assign aliases to the individuals under examination, the study employed a statistical examination of probable names extracted from written documents from that era. Robb expressed that journalists often rely on unnamed individuals who go by fabricated identities. The veil of anonymity provided by death and the passage of time safeguards our sources, but our intention was to humanize them and make them more relatable. Let's introduce two individuals who lived through challenging circumstances. First, we have 92, also known as Watt, who managed to survive the plague. However, he later passed away in his later years due to cancer while receiving care at the city's charitable hospital. On the other hand, we have 335, referred to as Anne, whose life was marked by a series of unfortunate injuries. These injuries left her with a shortened right leg, causing her to walk with a noticeable limp. Introducing 730, also known as Edmund, who defied societal expectations by coexisting with the general population despite his affliction with leprosy. Notably, he was laid to rest in a unique wooden casket. Additionally, we have 522, affectionately referred to as Eudes, a destitute child who transformed into a robust friar with a robust appetite, defying the odds by living a lengthy life despite enduring the agony of gout. The study conducted by the team and published in the journal Antiquity aligns perfectly with the content on the website as it delves into the examination of the occupants of St. John the Evangelist Hospital. Established in approximately 1195, this establishment provided assistance to those who were impoverished and in poor health, accommodating a small number of residents at any given moment. Its existence spanned approximately 3 centuries until it was succeeded by St. John's College in 1511. The excavation of the site took place in 2010. According to Rob, Cambridge, much like any other medieval town, was a vast expanse of necessity. The fortunate few among the impoverished were granted the privilege of receiving both shelter and sustenance in the hospital for the entirety of their lives. The factors that determined their eligibility were likely a combination of their dire economic circumstances, the influence of local politics, and their spiritual worthiness. Providing a glimpse into the workings of a medieval benefits system, the study sheds light on the criteria for admission. According to Rob, it was common knowledge that individuals suffering from leprosy, pregnant women, and the mentally ill were not allowed, while a devout and pious nature was a prerequisite. Inmates were obligated to offer prayers for the benefactors of the hospital, with the intention of expediting their journey through purgatory. Essentially, the hospital functioned as a dedicated hub for prayer. Analysing data obtained from the hospital's primary burial ground, which includes molecular, bone and DNA evidence from over 400 individuals, reveals that the average height of inmates was 1 inch shorter compared to the local residents. Additionally, inmates exhibited a higher likelihood of premature death and displayed indications of tuberculosis. The bones of prisoners often displayed evidence of impoverished childhoods marked by malnutrition and illness. Surprisingly, they exhibited lower instances of bodily injuries, indicating that their time in the hospital mitigated physical adversity and danger. The children interred within the hospital exhibited stunted growth, appearing significantly younger than their actual age by as much as 5 years. Rob suggested that these hospital children were likely orphaned. Many displayed symptoms of anemia and injury, with approximately 1/3 showing rib lesions indicative of respiratory ailments like tuberculosis. In addition to individuals experiencing long-term poverty, there were up to 8 residents in the hospital who displayed isotope levels that suggested a decline in the quality of their diet as they aged. These individuals may serve as examples of the shame-faced poor. Individuals who have transitioned from a life of comfort to destitution, potentially due to an inability to continue working. According to Rob, the theological teachings promoted assistance for the impoverished individuals who, by demonstrating that one could lead a virtuous and prosperous life, yet still be susceptible to unexpected misfortunes, posed a threat to the established moral structure. According to the researchers, the diverse population within the hospital, consisting of orphans, devout scholars, and individuals who were once wealthy, likely played a role in attracting a wide array of donors. By examining the arm bones, the researchers successfully identified certain skeletons that likely belonged to early scholars of the university. The majority of the townspeople exhibited an asymmetry in their arm bones, with the right humerus being noticeably more robust than the left. This physical characteristic is a testament to the demanding labour they endured, especially during their formative years. In contrast, there were approximately 10 individuals among the hospital's population who possessed symmetrical humeri, despite lacking any indications of a disadvantaged upbringing, stunted development, or persistent ailments. These individuals primarily originated from the late 14th and 15th centuries. Rob suggested that these individuals, who did not typically engage in physical labour or skilled trades, enjoyed a life of good health and adequate nourishment, often living well into old age. It is highly probable that they were among the first intellectuals affiliated with the University of Cambridge. The support received by university clerics differed from that of clergy in religious orders. Rather than relying on lifelong assistance, most scholars depended on various sources such as familial finances, income from teaching, or generous patronage. Scholars who were not as financially fortunate faced the potential of falling into destitution when illness or physical weakness struck. With the expansion of the university, an increasing number of scholars would have found themselves laid to rest in hospital cemeteries. Based on isotope analysis, it is indicated that the initial cohort of students at Cambridge University primarily hailed from the eastern regions of England, while a smaller proportion originated from the dioceses of Lincoln and York. The majority of the remains utilised for this study were obtained from 3 distinct locations. Alongside the hospital, the university's new museum site underwent extensive renovations in 2015, unearthing remains from a previous Augustinian friary. Furthermore, the project incorporated skeletons discovered in the 1970s on the premises of a medieval parish church known as All Saints by the castle. Rob recounted the meticulous process undertaken by the team, where they meticulously arranged each skeletal remains in order to conduct a comprehensive inventory. Simultaneously, they collected various bone samples to undergo radiocarbon dating and DNA analysis. Rob expressed the challenge of managing the multitude of bone samples, which seemed to be in constant motion throughout the entire endeavour. During the years 1348-9, Cambridge was struck by the devastating bubonic plague, commonly known as the Black Death, which resulted in the death of approximately 40 to 60% of the population. The deceased individuals were laid to rest in various locations, including town cemeteries and a plague pit situated on Bennett Street, adjacent to the former friary. By employing the World Health Organization's approach of measuring disease-adjusted life years, which accounts for the impact of a disease on both life expectancy and quality of life, the researchers have demonstrated that bubonic plague might have ranked as low as 10th or 12th on the list of significant health concerns for people living in medieval Europe. Rob stated that common illnesses like measles, whooping cough, and gastrointestinal infections had a significantly more devastating impact on people during the medieval era. While it is true that the Black Death claimed the lives of half the population within a single year, it is important to note that this devastating plague was not a constant presence in England before or after that period. In fact, chronic infectious diseases like tuberculosis posed a far greater threat to the people of medieval England and Western Europe as a whole. Addendum. In the medieval era, the population of Cambridge was limited to a small number of individuals, residing in timber-framed residences that were concentrated near 12 churches, each accompanied by its own modest burial ground. The outskirts of the town consisted of vast fields tended to by the majority of the residents, reachable within a mere 10-minute stroll in any given direction. The town was home to prominent Christian orders, including the Dominicans and Franciscans. These religious groups had their headquarters in the area. The early university primarily consisted of spacious accommodations for religious students. The first college, known as Peterhouse, was founded in 1284. In the late 14th century, the colleges, which were initially modest in size and lacking in wealth, began to expand and increase in number due to generous contributions from nobles and monarchs. As a result of these endowments, the number of scholars reached an estimated range of 400 to 700 by the year 1400. For many years, the remains from All Saints by the castle and nearby villages were kept in storage. Some of these remains were stored at the university's Duckworth laboratory, while others were housed in an old salt mine in Cheshire. Examinations conducted on the residents of the All Saints cemetery indicate that their nutritional intake consisted primarily of grains, vegetables, and a modest amount of dairy. Approximately half of this population did not live past childhood. However, among those who did, roughly half surpassed the age of 45. The Augustinian friary men boasted a height advantage of approximately 1 inch compared to their counterparts from the town. Analysis of their bone chemistry indicates that their diets consisted of ample amounts of meat and fish. On the other hand, the hospital inmates who endured impoverished and illness-ridden childhoods were the shortest among the groups. It is possible that 3 individuals, one of whom was referred to as Christina and had the identifying number 332, originated from a location quite far away, potentially even Norway. Following their demise during a visit to Cambridge, potentially for the purpose of participating in the renowned Stourbridge Fair, these individuals may have been interred in the consecrated portion of the hospital cemetery out of charitable motivations. To support our channel's growth and ensure broader awareness, kindly hit the like and subscribe buttons. This will help us reach more individuals and disseminate valuable information. Thank you in advance.